What's up, guys? What is up? Welcome back to Deck Talk Podcast. Today, we've got a great episode for you today. If you don't know, I'm Colin Burnett.
And I am Norman Lee. Calling our guest today is one of the top fishing guides in Tennessee with over 20 years of experience on Lake Chickamauga, Gunnersville, and Nickajack Lake. The one, the only, Ricky Murphy. What's
That's
going
it,
on,
guys.
Ricky? How you doing,
What's up,
brother?
Rick?
Hey guys, how are y'all? Thanks for having me today.
Oh,
Yeah.
anytime, man. Anytime. We've been looking forward to getting you on here just to be able to talk to you about some fishing and talk about some of your experiences that you've had. Because I know I enjoyed picking your brains, especially when I'm out in the boat with you. So uh,
Yeah,
now we can get it to where uh, other people around might be able to pick your brain and stuff like that also. So,
I got you.
um, so guys, again, this is Ricky Murphy with Platinum Fishing Guides. Man, we I've been able to go out fishing with uh, with Ricky a couple of times, and it's always a blast. And guys, and if you're looking for one of the best guides in the Chattanooga area, again, what is it? Gunnersville, Nickajack, and Chickamauga are your three main lakes, isn't it, Ricky?
Yes, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll go anywhere. I just love to fish, But those are the three that's closest to the house.
Right.
so,
Right. So, guys, his number, I got it in the description, and actually, you can see it right here at the bottom of the screen. And so, make sure you book a trip with him. I know that actually, you see that he's in his truck right now, and he's going to be doing, he's actually, I don't know if he's at the ramp right now or he's getting
no,
ready
I'm
to
I'm
go.
not. Yeah, I'm getting ready to go, so I'm getting ready to pull out.
Yep,
So
yep.
we
So,
got
And
we got several night trips coming up, Ricky. What lake are you on tonight?
Chickamauga, and this
Chickamauga.
check
was
him out.
actually my first. I fished a lot in the afternoons, up until dark,
Yeah.
cause
Right.
I mean, I don't like fishing at night just because I can't see good, and I'm not I'm a pretty big guy, and you get out, you kind of got to, your eyes got to adjust and all that kind of stuff. So it'll take me a couple hours to get dialed in probably, but
Yeah. Well, you
but
got till about 9 o'clock.
yeah, 9 or 9:30, but it'll hopefully it'll be okay. I got me a little light in the boat so I don't trip and fall or do nothing, like that. So
Yeah.
Now, when for people that might not know, Ricky, what's the difference is in fishing from like daytime to nighttime? Is there really much different that you got to prepare for besides the darkness?
no, I mean, well, your whatever bait that you would normally use in the daytime. I mean, some of the bright colors, I usually just try to keep it like a black and blue or a black and red or just black or something, just a dark color. Um, I throw black and blue in the daytime, and I throw it a lot at night with a shaky head or a spinner bait, something like
Right.
that.
Now, do you
But
find that fishing at nighttime when there's a full moon, is it a little bit better for the bite when there's a full moon versus no moon, where it's a little bit
yes,
easier for you to see
yes,
on the fish to see?
yes, I think it's a lot better when it's a full moon. But I don't know if you've been out fishing. I mean, I fish a lot of evening, dog fights. That's what I grew up doing, since I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, I lived for Thursday nights, down at Sullivan's. Man, I couldn't wait. I could not wait to get there.
Yeah.
I'd wake up in the morning just ready to go, and I still do that. Um, but and then as I got older, I started fishing some of the 8 to 2s from on Chickamauga, Harrison Bay, Nickajack, and stuff like that. But those fish, they usually bite really good, that hour before it gets dark. And then if you've been out there fishing before at dark, they kind of shut off.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, unless the bite's just crazy, but they'll kind of shut off, and then it usually takes a couple of hours. It might be 12, 1 o'clock before they kick back on, but then it's you know you're good to go, and then it seems like they'll bite for a couple hours, and then a couple hours before daylight they usually bite, and then right
Right.
at daylight. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about you having to adjust going from daytime to nighttime. I'm sure the
yeah,
fish fishing at night have to adjust as well, going from daytime to nighttime.
Yeah.
yes, yeah, I think
Oh,
they do.
Aaron Vincent said Ricky is one of the best, hands down. So
Well,
Aaron,
tell
we totally agree with you on that, brother. So, and we
Aaron,
got
thank you, buddy.
Kim from Jack's Bait and Tackle says, "Hey guys." So, what's up, Kim?
What's up, Cam?
Hey Kim, how are you, girl?
So, is your experience with I mean, which is three different bodies of water. Let's just kind of, I mean, what you said that you can go, you'll go anywhere or whatever, but three bodies of water that you mainly, I guess you call your home turf lakes. Uh, do they fish similar in a way, or are all three of them different with Gunnersville, Nickajack, and Chickamauga?
Well, Gunnersville and Chickamauga, I mean Gunnersville and Nickajack are kind of the same because we've got so much grass down there.
Yeah,
And Chickamauga, if you can find, you know, the right grass, the right depth, it's a lot harder on Chickamauga now than it was, you know, say 5 years ago.
right, exactly. And so,
But you know the fish, you know the fish change with the temperature, the water temperature, the sun, the clouds, all that kind of stuff. They just, I feel like Nickajack and Gunnersville, for one, I don't think it gets the pressure that Chickamauga gets.
right,
So you know, on a high pressure lake, you just got to kind of finesse them, you know, into
yeah,
biting. But
yeah. We
I like all three lakes. They're all still excellent lakes.
Yeah, they are, and the thing about it is, you know, I tell people like Nickajack is like a hidden treasure between two great big lakes. I mean,
Hmm.
everybody knows Gunnersville and everybody knows Chickamauga, and then you got Nickajack right smack in the middle of it. And but a lot of people think Nickajack, and they if they have not ever fished it, they think downtown Chattanooga, they think of the river, but when what you're talking about, like the grass and stuff like that, they don't realize what is south of it. Like even like from Sullivan's down to the dam,
Yeah,
that how much grass is actually on Nickajack. It is very
yeah.
surprising.
Well, just for you guys that like fishing the river up around Chattanooga, just stay up there. There's nothing to see downriver.
Right, right.
Unless you book a trip with me, then we can go down there and look around. I'm just playing, but no,
Yeah,
it's really it's. I mean, in the last, I'd say the last 2 to 3 years, Nickajack. I mean, it's just a lot of fun to go down there and catch them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And guys,
Well,
and I know from experience of going out on the boat with Ricky a couple of times, and one, it is a top notch. Uh, I mean, he is very professional out there. He puts you on fish, and but the first time Ricky we went out, we were just filming just for YouTube channel and stuff like that, and we. We just went out there just having fun, chit chatting, hanging out, catching some fish, and we got rained on a little bit. Last I remember, but
Yeah, I believe we did. Yeah,
yeah, but I tell you one thing, we started out catching some small, which Ricky said they were small. I thought they were decent sized fish to be able to, just us going out having fun. And he says, you tired of catching these small ones? And I was like, I, I guess. And so we moved, and then we caught what about 7 or 8 at this later. I mean, after making the move, we caught about 7 or 8 that would have put us in some money in any kind of tournament that we was going to be fishing. And so, guys, he does put you on some big fish. He knows what he's talking about. And again, that I'm keeping his number right up, and it's right on the bottom here. So, because I want y'all uh, to call him up, and if you let him know, hey, we heard this from from Deck Talk Podcast, um, just so he can see how many people is really coming from our podcast. Because I know, looks like right now, Ricky, we've got probably looks like we've got over 400 people right now watching this. So,
Wow, that's
um,
good. And see, this is something that I'm new to. I'm not.
right,
People say I get. I mean, I do like to go out there and have a good time, but I mean, I consider myself camera shy just because I'm just no country boy, and
right.
but it is what it is, man. I enjoy fishing. I love to have a good time on the water, and that's one thing I can guarantee you when you go fishing with me, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna
Oh
laugh. We're
yeah,
gonna cut up, and we're gonna try our best to
yeah.
put you on some fish.
And so, and guys, and which I know most of the people that's going to be watching this podcast are fishermen in some way or another, weekend anglers, tournament fishermen, or whatever. Um, but again, if you want to bring somebody that is brand new to the sport of fishing, um, Ricky helps breaks that down to where it's going to make it easier for them to understand, make it to where they're going to want to go fishing again because he's going to put them on fish. He's going to teach them how to do what he needs or what you need to do to catch fish, and not just catch fish, but catch some big fish. So,
Exactly.
uh,
Yeah.
um,
Well, I've had kids, men, women. Usually the first thing one of the first things that I ask when we pull up to the first spot is, can you throw a bait caster? And some people will say, oh yeah, yeah, I can throw one. And then after the second or third backlash, I got to give them a spinning reel.
right, right.
And then I'll ask them, hey, do you want to learn how to throw one? I mean, it don't take long,
No,
especially if the fish are biting. People learn real quick how to throw one.
yeah, that's true. That
But
is true.
yeah, we bait casters. Sometimes people don't like them. Some people don't like spinning reels. But yeah, I mean, we can teach you whatever you want to learn. I mean, if you
Yeah,
just want to go ride around, look at some, try to grab some fish and try to catch them. I mean,
yeah.
that's something right there. That's
Well, that's
it's
all
just a
part.
lot of fun to be able to do that.
Yeah, and that's part of fishing that people don't really recognize is yeah, I can throw a bait caster, or I can reel it in or whatever, I can catch fish, but if you're on a boat and you don't realize and you're looking at your units and you don't know what you're looking at, it does you no good to have $3,000 worth
Yeah.
of, on a for a unit. Then so I mean, so what good does it do to have that kind of unit on if you don't know what you're looking at?
Exactly. And
Right, right.
and we as fishermen, and Ricky could attest to this, and I find this all the time, me being a guide as well. We take being able to throw a spinning rod, being able to throw a bait caster, we take that for granted because we've been doing it all our life. It comes so easy to us. But you won't. I mean, people don't realize, and I guarantee Ricky could attest to this. There's people that doesn't even have a clue how to throw a spinning rod that you have on your boat, and we take it for granted all the time because that's what we do. We've been doing it for all of our lives, and it seems so easy to us, but it's really not easy to a lot of people that doesn't do it all the time or doesn't do it that all hardly at
Yeah,
all. So it's just something we take for granted how easy it comes to us, but it's not really that way for a lot of people.
Ricky, let's see, we kind of lost your audio there for a second, Ricky. Let's see. You there, Ricky?
I think he could hear us. We can't hear
Yeah,
him.
we can't hear you, Ricky. Um, ah, looks like he lost service. You there?
You, Ricky?
Let's see. See if I can figure something out real quick. Sorry, guys. We uh, again are we'll try to figure this out real quick and um, see if we can get some audio here with Ricky. It just kind of shut off right in the middle of it, Norman.
Yeah, I think he's trying to fix it. I
Yeah,
think he knows that something's going on.
yeah. So guys,
I think he had an earbud in and it might have stopped working.
yeah. Can you still hear us, Ricky? No, he says he can. He can hear us, but we can't hear him. Um, hey Ricky, let's see. Let's see. Can you maybe like we'll keep on talking, Ricky, but if you can kind of log like log out of it or exit out and then come back on if you don't mind, and then we'll get it. Can you hear us?
Yeah, yeah. I'll exit off.
There it
Can you
All
hear
goes.
me
right,
now?
we got you now. You're good.
There we go. That may
We can
I
hear
don't know
you
what
now.
you
Okay.
done, but you got the magic touch. So
I don't know. All I did is flip the camera around. I just started hitting anything. But no, back to what we were talking about was a lot of the clients that I get, they only some of them only get to go fishing once a year.
Yeah,
yeah,
So they're not going to be used to casting really anything unless they fished when they was a kid or not.
yeah,
But yeah, I always just try to help them the best I can. Even sometimes I cast it for them if I need to. You know,
yeah. So,
so
but that's
especially if they're kids.
right, and that's one thing that kind of stands you out, in my opinion. I mean, because I've been on the boat with a bunch of people and a bunch of guides and stuff like that, and um, and so just your knowledge and stuff, and then just the pure fact because some guys just really just want to get out there, be able to put some people on some fish, and really don't care. Uh, about trying to teach what it is
Yeah,
and then being out there with you, Ricky, I noticed the times that we've been out um, was that if if you could teach somebody how to do something, try a new bait. Maybe it's they want to learn how to throw a shaky head or something like that. That you have no issues, even though that might not be able to what's the bass or the fish are eating on right now, but if they're wanting to learn that, you're willing to, I mean, you tell them, hey, I can teach you this, but we're going to have better bites on this. We can do this and whatever. You do take that step to try to teach them.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Well,
so
I believe that if it's the trip I'm thinking of, I think you learned that one was catching better fish than the other.
yes,
You remember? And
that one trip, yeah, I and what he's talking about was, he was like, he said, well, you need to put this on, Colin. And I'm like, I've been catching them with this. Let's try this. I want to learn. I need to be doing this more often to try to learn. He said, they're not hitting it. and then and then he goes and just, I mean, he puts a spanking on me and and then after a few, Norman, I had to cut off what I was throwing to put on what he was
yeah.
throwing.
I was gonna say,
Uh,
probably didn't take you long to change once you seen how he was stroking him in the front of the boat.
well,
yeah,
he was he was kind of stubborn, and I don't remember how many we caught that day, but they were keeping count. And since we was just out there having fun, I was like, well, I get to fish today, so let's just it's on. You know what I mean?
yeah, and
I can't remember who caught the most, but man, we had a great time, didn't we?
yeah,
Yeah,
and and we learned a lesson, or I learned that Ricky taught me. Um, which I've been in the boat and stuff with storms coming up, and this is the first time out on the boat with Ricky that I can remember hearing that line. You know, when we had that thunderstorm coming in on us, and that line was, zzz, you could hear it, and the
Yeah,
line would floating,
When
Norman. But I
you
mean,
make a long cast and your line hovers above the water, it's time to
yeah,
find shelter.
yeah. And so
Yeah.
and Ricky's like,
I don't think we did we take shelter? Did we? I think they was biting so good we just kept fishing, didn't we?
yeah,
Just
we kept on
your
fishing.
get on your knees and hold your rod tip as low as you can. That
Yeah.
rod's a lightning. That rod's a lightning rod. If you stick it straight up above your head.
So that was
Yeah.
the first time. I mean, in 30 some odd years that I had been fishing, that I've actually been able to hear it in the line, and then which I think I remember seeing like the line just like it just floated down to the water. But Norman, this line was literally just, I mean, it took a minute for that sucker to hit the water. It was hovering up so bad, and I was
Oh
thinking,
yeah.
and Ricky was like, hey guys, just to let you know, this is not really a good sign, but
Yeah.
we're catching fish. We can go in if you want. And so we're like,
Yeah.
and he hit it the nail on the head that I was stubborn enough, and we were catching fish. I was like, well, we'll just go with it.
Yeah. Well, luckily it didn't last too long. But yeah, those
No,
thunderstorms can especially when you're fishing a mountain lake that you can't see a long ways.
Yeah.
yeah,
They'll come right over those mountains and be on you in a hurry.
and right, quick, fast, and hurt. Now, Ricky, how did you get started fishing?
Man, I'll tell you, when I was in high school, um, well, I mean, I've always loved to fish. My uncle used to take me fishing all the time when we was little on the creek down in Kensington, Georgia, which is down in the cove. Which most people that are from around here knows about where I'm talking about. But we would just go down there and we would fish, and sometimes we'd catch them. A lot of times we didn't catch them. You know, we were just going fishing, and I've loved it ever since I was a kid. And during on the summers we would camp out on the creek. I mean, we'd catfish. You know, we'd just fish all night long. You know,
Yeah,
actually, I think it was my junior or senior year, and don't think bad of me of this, but I was supposed to take a girl to the prom, and I'd found out like 2 days before that she'd been talking to another guy. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to no prom. I'm going fishing. So I spent the night on the creek bank that night, and but man, I just love, I just love it,
yeah,
But and then when I got in high school, I had some friends of mine that introduced me to tournament fishing on the Thursday nighters. And when I got 16, I mean, I fished with, and some of you guys may know him or may not, but Harry Bundy. Y'all, I don't know if y'all know him or not,
mhm,
but Harry Bundy and Pete Bates, which Pete passed away several years ago,
right,
and they were just they're and Harry still fishes a lot, and they're just they're the old timers that, man, I'm telling you, they can catch them.
yeah,
And they taught me a lot of stuff about jig fishing, river fishing, and going fast in a bass boat. Because when I was 16 and they was running 80 miles an hour, I didn't. I was just loving it. And I mean, I've just always loved to fish. And back in, I guess it was 2020 when COVID hit. I got COVID, and I was one of the guys that said, "Hey, man, it's not real." There's
yeah.
I didn't think it was real. But I mean, me personally, I'm just being straight with you. I was like, man, that's just a bunch of bull crap.
Yeah.
Well, a few days later, I got it.
Yeah, it smacked you in the
12,
face real quick, didn't it?
yes, 12 days later, I'm in the hospital, and I
Yeah.
was in the hospital for 7 days. And I didn't think I was gonna make it out of there. You
Yeah.
know, and when you get in a situation like that, and you don't know if you're going to be able to walk out of that hospital or not, you really start to think about things in life that you have been able to do and not able to do, you know.
Right.
And I said, man, if I make it out of here, which I believe in the Lord, and I'm a Christian, and I believe in prayer, and I believe that it works. But I was like, Lord, if you want to take me out of here, I said, I'm ready to go. I said, but if you're not, get me healed so I can get out there. And get out and just get back. But I told myself if I make it out of here, I'm gonna get my captain's license and start guiding, just because I love to fish and I can share my testimony with people, and you know, hopefully put a few smiles on some people's faces, and just be a blessing, you know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I started guiding, is just because I just love to fish, man, and so I got my captain's license. Uh, a good friend of mine, Carter Day, he helped me
Yeah.
out. He helped me kind of get started. I actually worked with him for about a year, and then I branched off and done my own thing. But there's a lot of good guys are in this area that'll support you and help you out, and we all compete against each other. We don't share. We try to help each other out, but we don't share a lot of fishing tips. You know what I'm saying? With
Yeah.
some of the fellow fishermen, but we try to help each other enough to where it don't hurt us.
Yeah.
But we all
And
get along, and when push comes to shove, or if anybody needs something, we're always there to help each other.
Yeah.
and,
That's
and
It
I was
is
gonna
a
say,
huge family, um,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so
Yeah, I was
I
gonna say
mean,
with y'all. So all of what you just said there, dude, is spot on. I've been guiding now for over 16 years, but I've just been up
yeah,
here. Me and the wife moved up here actually about 3 years ago now. And
hmm,
dude, let me tell you something. I have had so much help when I moved up here, trying to get my guide business going up here. Because I was really well established in South Florida, and you know as well as
yeah,
I do, when you move into a new area, you have to pretty much reestablish yourself. And
yeah,
everybody here, whether all my fellow guides like yourself, Josh, Antoine, everybody, dude, has been so helpful to me. I mean,
yeah,
you're spot on, dude. And me
hmm,
personally, I want to thank you and everybody
yeah,
else. All of my guide family, basically up in this area, that has been just
hmm,
overwhelmingly supportive of me since I've been here, and it's a big blessing too, because you know how it is going to a new area and trying to figure something out on the fly.
Can you still hear me? Can
Yeah,
yeah,
you
we
we
can
can hear
still
you.
hear you.
There you are.
can
We
you
got
hear
you
me?
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The,
Okay, yeah, I had another call. I had another call coming in, but yeah, even you can hear me though.
yeah,
Yeah.
we got
Yep.
And with all the fellow fishermen, all the bait and tackle stores, I mean, just everybody. I mean, it is just Chattanooga in general is just a good fishing family all around.
you. Yeah. So, um, we got a question. Um, how do you know? Hold on, I got people are messaging. I'm trying to read this thing, and messages keep on coming, so it keeps on going up. So, um, how do you know from like spring to summer when to move offshore or to keep it up on? Or I guess they're saying to fish up against the bank.
Yeah. Well, I pay real close attention to the water temperature. That's what I like to see is if the water temperature is rising, and then the moon phase also, because all the fish, the fish are not all going to bed at the same time. They're not all going to move out at the same time. So you got different waves coming in and out. So I'll try to find me a couple of places in that mid depth to where I know they're going to be staging going in and coming out, because they'll usually stop, you know, going in and coming out. So I just try to find you know um, places like that. But
Yeah,
yeah, the water temperature and the moon phase is what I kind of look at a lot to determine whether I'm going out deep or if I'm going out or staying shallow.
yeah.
Because I mean,
Now,
you can go. Huh? Go ahead.
uh, you can finish what you're saying, but then this question is if you had a choice right now of the three lakes that you fish mainly, which one would you hit right now if you had to go catch a limit?
I'd probably go to Nickajack.
And then Michael
But
Linda, what's up, Michael?
What's up,
and
He's
there's
Michael?
asking. He said, "What's the biggest bass you've ever caught?"
The biggest bass I've ever caught is 1101, and I caught it in Mexico. But they say, well, maybe that don't count. But the biggest Tennessee River bass I've caught was 1087, and I caught it at Lake Gunnersville in March.
Goodness. Yeah, Aaron Vincent said Nickajack too. That's what he was saying, and he said he had a comment earlier said that we had two over 8 pounds the last two tournaments. One was 911 and 805. Nickajack is showing out right now.
Mm.
Yes, it is. It is.
So um,
That's good.
let's see. So when like right now, are you looking for like grassy ledges right now, or um, are you kind of just looking for the water, making sure the water temp's the right area, or right?
No, now I'm looking for thick clumps of grass is what I'm looking for now,
Yeah,
close to the river. If you can find those, Chickamauga, it's kind of hard to find those, but I'm just looking for big clumps of grass close to the river channel.
yeah. So and kind of like what Ricky just said, guys, is that's not just fishing. That's not what he's looking for just on Nickajack. I mean, that's pretty much what you want to look for right now. Pretty much any Tennessee river right now is what you wanting to find is that thick grass, patchy grass right by the river. So he might have
I'm
had another.
sorry.
No, you're good, brother. You're good. Um,
Yeah,
so,
sorry guys, my phone.
but yeah, Norman. While he's I think he's getting another phone call. Norman, real quick, do you want to tell what we got going on in 2 weeks while we're kind of waiting on Ricky to get back here?
Yeah, man. On July 9th, we're actually leaving for Florida. We got ICAST coming up. I think ICAST 11th, 12th, and 13th.
Can you
But
can you
that,
hear me now?
oh, we could hear you now,
We
Ricky. We're
got you. Yep.
back. But
Okay,
anyway,
sorry, my phone's going crazy. So
no,
Oh,
you're
you're
good,
good. You're
brother.
good.
You're good, man.
So we
But
just kind of went on to kind of fill space. Norman's telling them about what we got going on in 2 weeks with iCast and stuff
yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
So
we'll be down in Florida in
okay,
2 weeks. We got ICAST 11th, 12th, and 13th. After ICAST, we're actually going to be down in my old stomping ground, Lake Placid, Florida. We're going to be filming 5 lakes in 5 days, guys. So you're going to want to keep an eye out for the videos coming out. We're going to get a chance to go back to the Everglades again and try to catch some giant peacocks. But we'll have some good footage coming out of that, hopefully.
yeah,
But our episode on the 13th, which is not next week, but the week after, we are going to take a little break for 1 week. So we'll be off on the 13th, guys.
yeah,
So mark that on your calendar. We will be in Florida, and we're going to take a 1 week hiatus the week of July 13th. So, and we need a break too, man. But it's going to be a fun time down there with Colin and doing some fishing and seeing some guys down there. Like, and if you're at ICAST, also make sure we'll be at a couple booths throughout the day on Wednesday and Thursday. So look us up down there, and if you see us, make sure to say hi to us or swing
so
by and shout out to us if you see us on the showroom floor.
yeah. So Ricky, Michael Lindell, He's down in the Everglades, um, and he's a buddy of ours. Him and Norman's been buddies for a long time, and he. I'll read the question, but pretty much he's asking, "What is your go-to tournament bait?" He says, "If you're fishing a tournament and you're facing two sticks like Colin and Norman, what is your go-to bait to use?" So I don't know about big sticks with Norman and I, but we do go out there and catch some fish. But
man, I tell you, it depends on the time of the year. But if I could only have one bait, if I could only have one rod, one bait, I'd be throwing a Cinco.
yeah,
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 it's
and
hard to
that
beat.
right there, guys, is
It's hard to beat the Cinco. I mean, it man, it'll just catch fish. You know,
Yeah.
you can put it on a shaky head. You can throw it on a wacky rig. You can throw a Texas rig. I mean, there's just so many different ways. Drop shot it. You can do all kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I
I
gotta
mean,
hold on one second, okay? I gotta give me just a second. I gotta take just a break, little break here. Hold on.
Okay, you're good. We're gonna just keep on chit chatting.
yeah, I was gonna say too, the neat thing about a Senko style bait, and the reason I say Senko style bait is there's a lot of companies out there that are making a very similar bait to a Senko.
Yeah.
Of course, my go-to is always going to be Bruiser Bait. They make the 6-inch big stick and the 5-inch stick worm in
Yeah.
the Senko style bait. But the neat thing about a Senko style bait, like the 6-inch big stick or the 5-inch stick worm, is they will catch fish anywhere you go in the United States.
Yeah.
Any lake you go to, they will catch them.
Yeah. Hey, we got Jamie Jones is on here, Norman.
What's
So
up,
real quick,
Jimmy?
Jamie, uh, our Norman's got a guide trip tomorrow going out of Harrison Bay. Uh, Norman's going to call, and he's going to take the swim jigs that you had ordered. So he's going to take them to Harrison Bay, and he's going to see about trying to meet up with you after the guide trip. So
Yeah.
maybe that'll save a phone call, Norman.
Yeah, it's a half day trip, Jamie, so I ought to be back to the ramp sometime around 12:30. But if you're going to be around there around then, I'll give you a call when I'm heading back and see if you can meet me there.
Yep. So, because guys, I'm on vacation. I am in the old podcast studio, but I just got back this morning. I drove 6.5 hours after the St. Louis Cardinals blew. I mean, they blew up. I mean, it was horrible. But that's the how it's been going this year. But they uh, he said, "Okay, that's great. Sounds good. I don't get off till 4. So Norman, you might want it might be easier if you just drop them off at Jack's.
Okay.
So
That'll
uh,
work.
if he'll probably well, you know, Chuck, he's probably going to drop them off, Jamie, at Jack's. Then if um, to make it easier for you, and you can just pick them up on your way home. Um, but
What is it? Is Jack's giving away free bait and tackle?
No, Jamie Jones ordered some swim baits from us from Chattown Lures, and I just finished them today, so I'm trying to figure out a way to get them to him.
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
be over there at Harrison Bay tomorrow, so we're trying to figure
Well,
something out.
well, if you ever need a guinea pig to try any of that stuff, you let me know.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah. We and Jamie says, "What's up, Ricky?"
What's up, Jamie? We've been supposed to go and fishing for the last 2 years and I haven't made it out there yet.
Yeah. Well, Jamie, I will say this. I am glad to see that you're doing well and that you got out on some fish and you've been catching some fish. So, because I'm Jamie had to go to Vanderbilt. I don't know if you knew that, Ricky. He had they were frying some fish and he got burnt pretty good and had to go to Vanderbilt.
Wow, I didn't know
So,
that.
yeah.
You
So
know, I heard about man, I can't remember his name, but the guy that was with towboat. You know, he got uh, he was doing something in the back of the boat, and I don't know if it was a battery exploded on him or what. Did y'all hear about
ooh,
that?
mm-mm.
Yeah, he was
yes,
one of the
I
guys.
heard. Yeah. Yeah, they had, and that's the one that they had to bring the fire boats out there to because the boat caught on fire, didn't it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Jamie says tomorrow he's got an open seat, 8 to 2.
Oh,
Or
tomorrow
tomorrow.
night.
Yep, tomorrow night.
Well, I'll be out there. I'll be out there fishing tomorrow night. So, um,
So, but
but
yeah,
I'm not getting in that Harrison Bay uh, night series till I know I'm on them, man. Because them boys there don't play. You
no,
know.
they've been ripping some in and I'm
Well, I think 2 weeks ago. It may have been last week, but I think 2 weeks ago it took three fish in the mid 20s to win.
Well,
yeah.
It's
So
like an 8 pound average, and I'm like, you hear. I mean, I hear it all the time about Chickamauga is not what it used to be, but it seems like on Friday and Saturday night, them boys come out there and bust
yeah.
it.
Well, and that's what
So
just because I think when people say that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ricky, I think
yeah,
people say that because you know just as well as I do, 5 to 8 years ago, it was not uncommon to hear a 9, 10 pounder getting caught weekly
yeah,
on Chickamauga. Now,
yeah.
I mean, if we get one a month that we hear about, then that's doing pretty good.
And I think this week they're gonna bust. They're gonna catch them good too. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. So
because those
do you?
fish, to me, they move deep, and then they move back up in the grass.
Yeah.
After they move out on those ledges, they'll move back
Yeah.
up and get in the grass.
Yeah. Do you think? Because like right now, people that may not live around the Chattanooga area might not know, but like right now, I mean, we're getting all that smoke and stuff from the fires up in Canada. Um,
Yeah,
do you think that may play effect uh, on really like how the fish may bite or anything like that? Do you think that may play effect or not really at all?
I don't think it will. I mean, if it affects the sunlight, they're just probably gonna think it's a cloudy day. I would guess,
Right.
because I don't think it's gonna affect their, you know, breathing anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Well, I know that.
they're down there in the water.
Yeah. Well, I know that. Like here yesterday morning, we were in St. Louis and we went to the zoo, and you could tell that it was playing effect on the animals there in the zoo.
Yeah,
Um, but and I didn't think that it would affect like fish in general, but it did play an effect on the other wildlife and stuff like that. You did not really
yeah,
see any birds flying yesterday just uh, because of it. I mean, everything was just
yeah,
kind of just calm and nothing really was going on. Um,
right.
what's up, Zach?
Yeah,
Jamie
yeah, yeah,
says he said to shush because it would still be better if they just leave our grass alone. That is true. I seen a one of them boats up
I heard they
just
sprayed
north of
some
the Highway
yesterday.
60 bridge out there spraying last week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
So
a guy told me today that they were spraying in the park yesterday. Um,
Yeah.
so
yeah.
I wish they would leave it alone too, man.
Yeah.
That's
Well, and the thing is like this year, and I was telling Norman this year the grass has come. I mean, came up with a vengeance. This is the best grass I've seen this early in a long time.
yeah,
So,
Well,
uh,
you know what
yeah.
though?
I think it's uh,
Well, I was gonna say we can hope it never gets as bad as it is in Florida. They have devastated or the majority of the lakes in Florida that, I mean, 7, 8 years ago had beautiful hydrilla. They see a sprig of hydrilla in any Florida lake now, and they're out there with airboats spraying. And
well,
it's all
then,
politically driven too. It all comes from the politicians in Tallahassee. And so let's hope, our lakes up here in Tennessee and the rivers and Tennessee River never gets like it is in Florida because they actually, most lakes from Okeechobee to Lake Estepoga, they're pretty much nowhere near what they were back in the day just because of all the poison they're putting into the waters today.
yeah,
yeah.
um,
I believe that. And
yeah.
and and, and just real quick, I didn't know that they sprayed those Florida lakes like they do up
Yeah,
here because
that
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
I don't know why do they even spray it. I mean, I thought it was because they got the filtration systems in the dams, but I didn't realize that they sprayed them down.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You take a lake like Lake Okeechobee. Back in the day, it was nothing to go out and I mean, it was taking 30 plus pounds to win every tournament you fished down there.
yeah,
And now but you had the vast amount of hydrilla, and the hydrilla anywhere you used to have hydrilla, you used to have crystal clear water, because basically the hydrilla is a filtration system for the
yeah,
lake. Filters the lake, cleans the water, and the lakes now
Yeah.
are just so nasty, so dirty. Absolutely no hydrilla. Where these lakes used to have the hydrilla in it, it just devastated these lakes down there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Aaron Vincent says, I think it will affect if it changes the barometer pressure, which that's true. But I don't really know how much it's really affecting that though, Aaron. Um,
Yeah.
and then Kevin Randolph Jr. says you need to come out and do some saltwater fishing and then talk about it. Kevin, we need to do some salt. I have not. It's probably been about 2 years since I've been out on doing some saltwater fishing, but I do want to go catch some big old reds. So Norman and I were actually trying to plan some trips to where we can go out and do, because we got a page called U.S. Fishing Guide List. Um, so we're wanting to be able to go and hit some of the guides. We got over 200 and I think the last time I checked, Norman, is like 215 guides in 38 states. That post on that that
That
page
Facebook.
on Facebook,
Yeah.
Kevin. So um, Jonathan's over here talking smack, Norman. But so we want to try to do that. Holler at me and we might be able to try to plan something to with you, Kevin. Maybe doing some saltwater fishing.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Um,
I haven't been saltwater fishing a lot longer than you. It's been years for me.
yeah. So Aaron Vincent said they were spraying at Sullivan's boat ramp last Friday. Did you know that, Ricky?
No, I didn't know that. That's helpful information because I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. So
Hey, I'm gonna have to take a break again here, guys. Give me about 5 minutes,
No,
okay?
you're
hey,
good, man. You're
you're
good.
good. We're
Okay.
just gonna keep on
All right.
chit
All right.
chatting.
All right. Thank you. I can
So
still hear you, but I'm just gonna mute you for a second, okay?
you're
No, you're
good. You're
good.
good. You're good.
All right.
So So yeah, and then Jonathan's over here saying, "Podcast vote. Does Colin hat suck?" No, my hat does not suck, Jonathan. They just suck this year.
Uh,
so, yeah. Let's see. Next one is the first of the month of November, and he said he'll talk to us.
yeah,
Sounds good, Kevin. We one thing we just love being able to get out and do some fishing uh, and hanging out with people and being able. That's why we started this podcast. We just normally just we thought doing this podcast that we might be able to have somebody like a special guest, maybe once, maybe twice if we're lucky. Uh, we thought mainly that it's just going to be Norm and I just chit chatting about fishing, having y'all talk to us about what's going on here. But we've been very fortunate and blessed that I mean we've got pretty much what the next 8 weeks solid is booked up. We're booking people 2.5 3 months in advance.
yeah.
And next week, Norman, do you want to tell them who we got coming on next week?
Yeah, next week, guys, we have another local hammer coming on next week, Caleb Bell, and we're going to get into a lot of lake mapping and lake graphing next week.
Yeah,
Caleb is one of the best, if not the best, in our area up here at least, in mapping out lakes, graphing to find fish, using his electronics to his advantage. So we're going to get into a lot of that, a lot of lake graphing with Caleb, and kind of have him explain a little bit of it and how he goes about it. So that'll be a really fun episode with Caleb. So you guys definitely want to tune in next week.
yeah. And Aaron said they said they were only spraying TVA ramps. Yes, that is true, Aaron. But the boat that I seen was not TVA. It was a private owned company that they were spraying because um, they uh, they were bought, or some like a group of people went in and paid for them to spray, mainly because it was homeowners that was in the back of a slough. So and but yeah, that's where I seen them about right around the 60 bridge. And so Jonathan says that he's a local hammer. I don't know if what we should say to that, Norman.
He knows how
So
to. Nah, I better not say anything.
yeah, yeah. So but guys, yeah, we we do have a busy week again, like what Norman was saying. Here in 2 weeks, or next week, we got Caleb Bell coming on. Here in 2 weeks, we're going to be in ICAST down in Orlando. We're going to be working some booths with some of our sponsors. Um, he said that was him last weekend. Yeah, yeah. I will. I'll give him that. But here in 2 weeks, we're going to be in ICAST again. That we're going to be working some of the booths of our sponsors. And so, if you're going to ICAST and you see us, make sure you holler at us. We love chit chatting. We love meeting new people. But here in 2 weeks, the podcast will we're going to take a week off, because actually about this time that we're supposed to be doing the podcast, we're actually going to be on the boat with one of the best crappie fishermen in Florida, period, hands down. We're going to be out on the water with Mr. Dennis Crenshaw.
Lake
So
Placid Freshwater Charter and Guide. You guys, if you're down in the South Florida area and want to go out and catch some good slabs of crappie, make sure you holler at Dennis, my boy Dennis
yep,
Crenshaw, and he's Google him, look up his website. But Lake Placid Freshwater Charter and Guide, he is a man, hands down the best crappie guide in the state of Florida. You guys have got to check him out. But yeah, we're gonna be out with the Dennis on that Thursday, and we're gonna be doing some filming too. So hopefully we get some good crop nighttime. It's actually going to be me and Colin's first nighttime fishing video. We're actually making a film out of it, so that ought to be interesting.
yeah,
So hopefully we get some good footage, but it will be at night too, so that ought to be an interesting, at least behind the scenes, trying to get ready for that.
yeah,
That's actually going to be our first time we're actually going to be filming at night, so
yeah.
ought to be a
So
lot of fun.
but again. We're almost hitting the hour mark, Norman, but we definitely don't want to hold Ricky up too terribly much longer. It
I,
looks like
I, I
he's
think Ricky's getting some snacks for tonight.
yeah. Well, it looks like he might have been at first I thought it was Walmart, but then it kind of looks like it was Lowe's. But so but we want to tell Ricky thanks. It looks like he may be checking out.
Yeah.
But so, guys, we do want to tell you that if you're in the Chattanooga area and you're looking for a guide, uh, and it's not just that you're looking for a guide to be able to put you on fish. If you're looking for a guide that's going to teach you things, if you want to learn certain things, uh, make sure the number is still at the bottom uh, of the screen there. Ricky Murphy, and his number is right there. Make sure you holler at him and tell him again. Tell him that you've seen it from this podcast, just so he can kind of get a ballpark figure of like how many people is actually coming from us. Uh, and we're definitely gonna have Ricky on again here in here pretty soon. We're going to try to get him back on here, and maybe we might try to get him.
Yeah, any
Uh,
time, guys. I mean,
yeah,
I've really enjoyed it, and we need to just maybe get together and do a. I don't know if you can do a podcast from the boat or not, but that'd be fun.
yeah. We might have to look into that.
Yeah,
but I definitely will. And I would love to be able to have you on, Ricky, and Norman would to maybe, especially. I mean, it don't have to be the fall, don't have to be the next, but we want to talk to you about fall transition and stuff like that. Um,
Okay.
so we definitely want to get you on with that,
And
because
also look
guys,
at Ricky Murphy's Facebook page as well. Follow him on Facebook at Platinum Fishing Guides as well, and you can kind of
Yes.
keep an eye out for and look at his posts from his trips too. I mean, he has some incredible catches. Every trip's going to be posted on his Facebook Platinum Fishing Guide, so make sure you follow him on his
Yeah.
Facebook page as well.
And one thing that I'm going to try to do here, if I can get a day to do it, and I think it'd be a pretty good challenge too. To I'm going to try to catch a 5 bass limit on all 3 lakes in one day.
one
So
day.
in one day, I'm going to try to do it. I don't know if it can be done, but I mean, just something fun to do. Um,
Well, let's do
I like I
this.
said, and especially this time of year, with it starting to get a little bit tougher and a little bit hotter. So
Yeah,
I think I'll start at Gunnersville, and I'm gonna hit Nickajack in the middle because I think it may be a little easier for me there. But if I
Yeah.
can get a good morning bite, I can get 5 fish in the morning at Gunnersville, then move to Nickajack, then hit Chickamauga.
yeah.
And
We
I'm
need to do
also
this.
trying to, huh?
Well,
Let's do this,
before
Ricky.
you say that,
When
Colin, I was gonna say
you
it's funny.
plan it, and
Uh,
we're gonna film it. We
yeah,
want to film it.
Okay, yeah, that I mean I'd love to do that.
Yeah, we'll
So
film that because
I'll
that's gonna be that will be a show and a half, and that will be something pretty cool. I don't
yeah.
think nobody's ever done that, so
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say it's
haven't
funny.
heard of anybody.
I was gonna say it's funny Ricky said that because before me and the wife made the final decision to move permanently up here, I was actually planning back in Florida to do that with my 3 lakes I guided on, do a 4 hour, 4 hour, and 4 hour, go from one lake to the other, tournament style, to see what the biggest limit I could get on 3 lakes in one day, 4 hours each. So it's kind of funny you said
well
that because I actually was wanting to do that in Florida, and never got the opportunity because we moved up here. But
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be incredible, Ricky. If you do that, we'll make sure to follow you around. We'll film it. We'll put cameras on your boat. We'll be in a chase boat filming you as well. We'll have the drone footage. That ought to be an incredible day to do that.
yeah,
and I'm not sure if it'll be a big sack on every, but I'm shooting for 515, and then I'll have to load up and just be running and gunning,
Yeah, there you go.
and then also I'm wanting to try to do another, just something fun to do to change it up a little bit. Is I may do one day a week to where if you want to book a trip, like say I don't know what day I want to do it yet, but you see all these challenges with some of these pros where you I think it's the Scott Martin challenge, and then there used to be a guy in Boston, I can't remember his name. Do y'all remember him?
mm,
But if you beat him or whatever, but I was going to try to do something like if you can, if you book a trip with me, and I can fish, and the customer can fish, but if you beat me, it's free. You see
yeah,
what I'm saying? So like I'm just going to call it beat the guide. If you can go out and beat me, then we get to have fun. You don't have to pay, and you get a free day of fishing. You know,
yeah,
so maybe I just make it fun, and I'm a competitive person, and I don't get to fish as many tournaments as I used to be able
right.
to, but I just enjoy fishing, and I enjoy seeing people catch fish. I get, it just I love to see people have a good time, man, and catching fish. So, um, but yeah, if you would just give me a call, I'd love to take you out. We'll have a great
Yeah.
time. And Colin, Norman, thank y'all for having me
Yes,
on.
sir.
And just give me a
Anytime, brother.
call. Yeah, I just love to talk fishing. So y'all guys have a good night, and together and try to do that here real soon on those 3 lakes. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
you
That ought to be fun.
just
Have a
let
good
us
time
know.
tonight too, Ricky, and get on them, man. Get on them
Yeah.
tonight.
All right. Thank y'all. Have a good night.
All
All
right, you
right,
too.
see
Bye
you
bye.
guys.
All right, good deal. That was awesome, man.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Good to have
sir.
Ricky on here. Great
Yeah, that's going
show.
to be
That'd be an incredible day.
yeah, that will be totally a blast to do. I mean, it's going to be a lot of gas being burnt, but can you imagine?
It'd be an action packed day too, and that'd be a fun deal.
Yeah. So, um, but guys, yeah, we Ricky had to get off here because actually he's actually got a night guide trip on Chickamauga. So he uh, he actually stayed probably about what 25 minutes, 30 minutes longer than what we were kind of expecting.
We're gonna
Uh,
try to get off a little bit quicker tonight to get
yeah,
him.
and we did.
Actually, when we first started, he was actually in his truck at the boat ramp waiting to. I believe he was at the boat ramp waiting to unhook and everything and get ready. But anyway, all right, Colin. Well, let's go ahead and end this thing, man. I actually have to get ready. I when I say I have to get ready, I have to get ready. I have a trip tomorrow, half day trip on Chickamauga, and I don't have
Yeah,
anything ready yet, so I got to go. I'll probably be in the garage for another hour and a half, just trying to get some gear together for
yeah.
tomorrow. I have to leave the house about 5:30 to meet my clients at Chickamauga at Harrison Bay tomorrow. So I
Well,
shall.
while you're doing that, I'm probably going to be watching the back of my eyelids. So,
Yeah, you're running on fumes.
yeah,
Colin's been driving 6 hours. He's been on the go for the last 3 days at the Cardinals game.
yeah.
So
Went to, and I'll tell you this, Norman, this is something, I mean, so we left Monday to go to St. Louis. Got to St. Louis, kind of hung out around downtown. Uh, went then the following day went to the we done went through the Hall of Fame and the museum there for the St. Louis Cardinals. Then we done a stadium tour. We actually got to get out on the field, got to go into the dugouts, got to go to the KMOX broadcast studio. Uh, got to learn a lot more stuff. I mean, which I've been a Cardinals fan for all my life, and learned a lot more while I was there. It was a blast. Got to see two games. The first game was phenomenal. Got to see the Cardinals win. That actually looked like the Cardinals from the past that actually knows how to play. And then we went and to yesterday's game, and the Cardinals gave up 3 runs in the first inning, and they came back and scored four in the first, bottom of the first, held the lead all the way to the eighth inning, Norman, and then freaking Jose Altuve, the shortest person in Major League Baseball right now. I like him, but I don't like him at the moment because he hit a 3-run home run to tie the game up, and they ended up scoring five in the eighth. And
and the Cardinals lost in true Cardinal fashion.
yeah, I mean, this year I mean, their bullpen just sucks, and that's what. That's just honest opinion. Well, it's not opinion. That's just honest fact. But so after the game, drove 6.5 hours back, and so I'm running on fumes, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. I don't know if you can see it on camera. My deck talk cup I'm drinking out of. I actually have a fly flying around, buzzing around in here that actually I found out likes Mountain Dew as much as I do. I'm trying to keep him off my straw. He's been
So
he keeps landing on my straw trying to drink my dang gum Mountain Dew. So
yeah,
he likes
this
it.
protein, guys.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's been a busy week so far, and tomorrow heading to Nashville, taking my my little nephew to the Nashville Zoo. Oh, speaking of reason why I was wanting to say that, if you if you're wanting the one of the best, if y'all like going to zoos, or even if you don't like going to the zoos, but the best zoo that I have ever been to, St. Louis Zoo, it is totally free. $15 a part, totally free. Go see all
Wow.
the animals. They have over 90 acres of land that's got fish. They got buildings and stuff that has different stuff in it. It is a phenomenal. So it's not a plug for them. Well, it is a plug, but we're not getting nothing out of it. So,
You
but
said they
uh,
have fish. Could you bring a rod?
hey, they do have. They got quite a few ponds, Norman.
Could you toss a bait?
I can toss a bait. They might not like it,
They'll
but
probably take you out on handcuffs.
I don't know. Maybe if I wear a Cardinals hat, it'd be all right. But guys, we do thoroughly enjoy y'all coming on here, and thanks for watching, Ricky. Thanks for coming on here and chit chatting with us a little bit. Even though we knew that you had a guide trip tonight, you squeezed us in. Uh, so guys, make sure you go call Ricky Murphy. Here is his number one last time. Call him, tell him that you've seen us or seen it on Deck Talk podcast, so we can kind of get an eyeball. Uh, and maybe next time we get him on here, Norman. Maybe we can let him. Maybe we can do like a discount code or something like that. We'll have to try to work on that,
Yeah,
Norman.
we'll work on something like that for him.
But guys, we got a bunch of great stuff that's coming up for us. We're excited about things that we've been working on for a little bit, and then we got iCast. Um, so it's going to be a great time. Uh, but Norman, I am dead tired, and
Now you go
so
get some sleep. I got to go rig some rods and go to bed myself, so I get up and head for chicken in the morning. So
yep. So
my
make sure you
friend,
go rip some lips, and
don't forget, go to our Deck Talk YouTube channel, Deck Talk Podcast on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Eventually, we're wanting to swing everything over just to the Deck Talk Podcast channel on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to the channel as well.
sounds good, brother. Well, guys, we'll see you next week at 6 p.m. with the one, the only Caleb Bell with Bass Quest Fishing
Yep.
Guides. And
Gonna be
so
another
we'll
fun
see y'all
episode.
next time. Get ready to learn something next week about mapping and how fish move and stuff according to your mappings.
Yep.
Caleb is the best person that I have ever met that talks about mapping and being able to break it down for you to understand. We're going to be able to get him on here, and he's going to share his screen with us to where you can see what he's talking about as he's talking about it. So guys, make sure you go to YouTube, look up Deck Talk Podcast, and hit that subscribe button, and we would appreciate it. And we hope that you have a blessed night, and let's live the passion.
With the passion, tight lines, guys.